Hiking this spectacular 17.5-mile trail is a wonderful experience. If you do it, you will walk across high alpine meadows, through an alpine basin ringed by graceful granite mountains that change colour constantly. Lower down, you will walk in forests, on exposed ledges, and switch back up hot, dry slopes, accompanied by the rambunctious Piute Creek, often far below, but sometimes right there and inviting. You will see the gorgeously striped Mount Humphreys and the impressive blue rock-walled Piute Canyon. The Piute Trail follows Piute Creek, up from the point where Piute Creek has its confluence with the South Fork of the San Joaquin River on the Muir Trail, about 3.5 miles south of Muir Trail Ranch. The trail then follows Piute Creek in an easterly direction to its headwaters below Piute Pass. The trail crosses the pass and descends to the North Lake trailhead out of Bishop. The trail remains on the northern side of Piute Creek and does not enter Kings Canyon National Park. It remains in the John Muir Wilderness, and permits to enter via the North Lake trailhead are obtained from Inyo National Forest. We hiked this trail in August 2014. We had entered at Mammoth Pass and hiked south on the John Muir Trail, but we'd been delayed by storms.
So we didn't really have the tent secure for a storm, but it's standing up, keep pushing.
We encountered heavy smoke from a forest fire near Lake Edison and had minor equipment failure and other adventures and misadventures, including meeting a bear and running out of food, and were a bit the worse for wear.
The bear sighting by putting up with the scary storm. The lightning and thunder was pretty incredible. I have to admit, we were quite nervous.
A warm welcome at Muir Trail Ranch lifted our spirits.
Here that stay at the ranch. We haven't met this one before.
Oh, you're a good boy.
He's a bit wet with the rain. There you go.
He likes you.
So anyway.
After a day's rest, a resupply, and a good soak in the Blaney hot springs, we were ready to hit the trail once more. The Muir Trail Ranch Cutoff Trail follows the river until you rejoin the John Muir Trail. After an initial rocky climb, it is very pleasant walking through ponderosa pines and aspens, and there are nice spots for a picnic. Then you climb up to meet the John Muir Trail and say goodbye to the San Joaquin River. The trail climbs gently to the Piute Creek Bridge. This section of trail is only about 2 miles long, but we found it tough going. The trail surface is a bit rough with loose tennis ball sized rocks, so you need to be careful not to turn an ankle. Also, this valley is still lowish elevation and can be humid in the afternoon. The views are very pretty. We needed to fill our water bottles from Piute Creek before departing camp. Although the trail parallels the creek, it climbs high above, and the creek is inaccessible for more than 5 miles. In a dry year, side streams will be dry for several miles.
The Piute Pass trail climbs quickly up a steep, rugged slope, and the trail has a lot of big steps. I'd been told that this early part of the Piute Pass trail was sketchy, but It's actually really pleasant walking. The steps are beautifully constructed and not too high, and the trail itself, while it does have loose rubble on it, it's been sort of pushed down into the surface, so it's quite flat. We're switchbacking up this hot, dry talus slope with a trail through it like a maze. And there's Paul up ahead. Smooth granite, Yosemite-like granite all around. It's really beautiful here. Well, I'm hoping that I've done my last switchback up this slope and that we're heading around the side of the canyon now on a reasonably level trail. There's Paul talking to another hiker.
East Pinnacles Creek crosses the Piute Trail in about half a mile.
Yeah. So we just came around the corner about 20 minutes from our last entry, and beautiful East Pinnacles Creek is flowing strongly.
Just a few minutes further along, the terrain levels out and the trail approaches Piute Creek. This is a lovely place to take a break and have a dip.
There are waterfalls all the way along here. It's just gorgeous. Paul in pursuit of porridge by Piute Creek. He's very hungry. This section of the trail before Hutchinson Meadow is absolutely beautiful, winding along beside the rushing Piute Creek. Could this be Hutchinson Meadow, Paul?
It could be, yeah.
How will we know?
We'll know if we see a trail sign, trail junction saying turn left to French Canyon.
Oh, okay, that's great. Good, there's a landmark.
We never did see the French Canyon Trail junction, but in Hutchinson Meadows it began to rain hard and we re-entered forest. There were lots of mosquitoes here and a series of deceptively tricky crossings of side creeks. I fell into one and had to be rescued, and I met someone else who did the same. Be careful here.
This is our camp just after the Little Honeymoon Lake junction on the Piute Creek Trail. Beautiful, beautiful day, and I'm taking the opportunity to dry out my boots after my fall in the creek yesterday. They're completely sodden.
We're on the Piute Trail, about 6 miles from Piute Pass. Last night was a late one. We probably hiked too far yesterday. We crossed the 10,000 foot marker about an hour ago, and we're looking up at the Glacier Divide. On the other side of that there's Evolution Valley and the John Muir Trail. Quite spectacular. Still a little bit of snow facing north that's hanging on.
As we climbed higher, storms blew over. We took refuge in our tent a few times, but the display of light on the mountains was breathtaking.
So that's Piute Pass. That's where we're headed tomorrow. We're in no hurry to rush away from here because it's unbelievably spectacular. The sky is a really dark grey, but the sun is shining on the mountains.
We crossed the little stream that flows from Humphreys Lakes and found a campsite. This was a site that definitely qualifies for our campsite Hall of Fame.
Sunrise near the top of Piute Pass, and frost on the tent. It was absolutely freezing last night. Paul's glasses inside the tent got condensation on them, but we were toasty warm. Beautiful morning, and today we go over the pass and down into Bishop, all going well. Perfect trail on the approach to Piute Pass. We're at about 11,200 feet. Beautiful, beautiful hiking conditions. Warm sun, cool air, light breezes. We've just come around another corner and we think that's the pass there. Paul says he can see the summit lake. Woohoo! We're nearly there. Amazing. We have climbed over Piute Pass, and this is the beautiful view on the other side. This water running in front of me is coming from this tiny little remnant snowfield just behind me. We're hiking down, it's a nice trail. We're both feeling a bit on a high. Tremendous feeling of accomplishment.
Really good. We had a big morning and we're on a flatter stretch and feeling pretty good.
We've come past the last little lake, Loch Leven, and you can see this is the descent we have ahead of us. It's a 1,500 foot descent. Phew, that's going to take it out of our knees. But isn't it beautiful? Look at these volcanic rocks, mountains. Piute Creek.